Hello everyone, my name is Roger Noonan, and in this video I'm going to be showcasing my 2D side-scrolling level, which consists of a theme of a desert and a sky, and combined together I call it Dry Sky. So while I'm walking through this level, I'm going to be showcasing 3 different mechanics that the level has, at least 3, 3 different types of hazards, and 3 different collectibles. Please keep in mind, as you can see as I'm trying to run into the moons and collect them here, that not everything is interactable. So in order to get past certain non-functioning elements, I'm going to be using those black boxes right over there that you can see. They will not be present in future versions of this level, so please keep that in mind. So to start off with, we're in the middle of a big open area, and these moons are guiding us forward, which serves as the main collectibles and as a means of guiding the player into learning the mechanics of the player, which include running and jumping. That arc of moon teaches them to run and jump, but suppose they don't make it, this pit isn't a death pit, so they can use the ladder to get back up there and try again. So moving forward, the player should be comfortable with how the player moves and jumps at that point, so they arrive at the first checkpoint, so they don't have to do that again. And from this point on, everything below the platforms is a bottomless pit, which means the player will die and have to restart at the checkpoint if they fall down there. So the bottomless pit serves as my first type of hazard. So we arrive at the next mechanic, the first one being the ladder, which is the sliding sand right here. As you can see, if the player lands on it, and this will be function, this will have function in later versions. If the player lands on it, they will be dragged backwards. But the Arc of Moons right there guides the player into landing on a safe particular spot on the sliding sand, so they'll know how it functions and react it, and they will be able to react in time. And our next hazard right here is the cactus. The player will take damage if they touch it. But there's a second type of collectible right there, the heart, which the player can pick up to gain a hit point back. The player has 3 hit points total before they die and have to go back to the next checkpoint. And what I just fell through right there is another hazard, quicksand. When the player lands in it, they will sink rapidly, but they can jump repeatedly in order to get out of it. But suppose they fall through, they'll arrive at the next type of collectible, which is the big metal, which adds a lot of points to the player's score. The main collectibles, the moons, they add a little bit to the player's score, and the big metals, which are hidden in tricky areas, add even more to the player's score. And so, moving ahead right here, we arrive at the last type of mechanic to be introduced, the moving platform. So by this point, by the next checkpoint right here, the player will have been taught all of the mechanics and the collectibles that this level has to offer. So the rest of this level is challenging the player to apply what they've learned and how to manipulate the character and how to use their knowledge of the hazards in order to get past them in more trickier spots. And so we are arriving close to the end of the level right here. And that's pretty much what this level mostly looks like. So before I end this demonstration right here, I would like to showcase the sprite sheets that I used to put this level together. The first of which is animated objects, namely the quicksand, which you can see the tiles right there to the left, and the metal right there, which is the big metals right there, which are shown in the bottom middle. And next, I want to showcase the animated checkpoints. You can see in the top row right there, this is the inactive type of checkpoint. This looks that way prior to the player touching it, but when the player does touch it, it becomes active and turns blue, as represented by the sprite frames in the bottom middle row right there. And finally, we have the static objects, namely the ground, the heart, the moon, ladders, etc. So that's all I have to show. I hope you enjoyed.